Whoever says Subhanallah wa bihamdihi 100 times, Allah will forgive his sins, his itham, even if it's as much as the foam of the ocean. Is that hard to do? It's hard to do only when you're too busy looking for more knowledge and don't have enough time to do anything with what you got. If you're too busy on the internet trying to find a chat room where you can argue with somebody about Aqidah, and you don't have time to say Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. If a person say Subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a tree in Jannah for him so big it takes a rider on a fast horse 40 years to go through the shade. But we don't have time for that. We got time to tell somebody else. You get time to tell somebody else this is a bid'ah, but you don't have time to say La ilaha illallah. But the reason I stress both wings is because also an ignorant worshiper who follow the wrong way in dhikr or anything in Islam may go astray. So it's always important to balance, have both wings. Seek knowledge, but remember Allah said above every knowledge is more knowledge, and Allah is Al-Alim. He has all this knowledge above all knowledge. So you're never going to get there anyway. But when it comes to dhikr, we don't do enough. I know that. We need to do more dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You've got plenty of people here on this diocese here to give you all kinds of better information than I did on that subject, but it's just one I wanted to mention tonight because of the Salat al-Tasbih. Salat al-Tasbih has a lot of dhikr in it. I don't know how many times you say,
It's rak'ah 75.
Yeah, but did you add it all up?
300.
300? Seemed like more. It's a lot of dhikr. And all of us, we need more dhikr. That's my point. And I hope, inshallah, that when we leave here tonight, that we won't just leave the dhikr here, we'll take it home with us and keep it in our hearts. But remember, it's the other wing. Check out what you do. Be sure it's right, but then do it. It's good. That's my point. Now, the brother said, this is a Volkswagen? No, I'm kidding. Talk about coming into Islam. How many do we have here tonight that decided to enter Islam by choice? Put up your hand. Those who entered Islam by choice. Huh? All right. Alhamdulillah. Mabruk. Congratulations. It's a good choice.
Do it the other way around. Who was born as Muslim, you'll find also a few hands.
This is my running buddy. I keep running into him everywhere. It's amazing. Okay. But I'm asking now one more question. Is anybody here tonight that's not a Muslim or they've never made a shahada? Maybe you've been around Islam, but you never actually made shahada. Is anybody here tonight didn't make shahada yet? Okay. Is there anybody here tonight that ever questioned their shahada if it was really in place as it ought to be? Okay, you're sure your shahada is okay? No problem. All right, good. Alhamdulillah. Why I'm saying this, because a lot of times when I go into the prisons and the military, into other countries, I find that a lot of people never really had a chance to question Islam and ask questions and then decide, am I really a Muslim? Have I done the things, do I believe the things that lead me to Islam? Because I did find amongst some of the priests, preachers, ministers, and reverends, people who were doing things very close to Islam, but for whatever reason, Allah hadn't guided them yet. I found some people look like Muslims without shahada. And I found some people with shahada, but I couldn't see the Muslim. That's the point. So, alhamdulillah, 10 years ago, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided me to Islam, alhamdulillah. But it wasn't like there's no such thing as an average coming into Islam. Everybody has a story. But in this case, what happened was my father started doing business with an Egyptian. And I was very impressed. I said, this is an international level that we've taken our company to. And then he said he's a Muslim. I said, you're crazy. How can we do business with somebody like that? My father's a minister, ordained minister, you know, and I'm a preacher. But what are we going to get involved? Because we were hanging out with people, I won't mention their names, because if I do, you know, they might get mad if I said like Oral Roberts or something, so I won't. Or Pat Robertson or something like that, so I won't say that. So a lot of these people, they hate Islam. And they work hard to put Islam down, you know. So we believe what we hear. They said it, you know, these people don't believe in God. They're terrorists, hijackers, bombers. They oppress their women. They worship a black box in the desert. And they kiss the ground 5 times a day. So when I said that to my father, he said, look, I want you to meet him. And I didn't want to, but he insisted. So I said, okay. I lived in his house out in the country. I had to do what he said, or else I'm looking for another place to stay. So I said, okay, I want to do it. But on my way, I'll go to church on Sunday, come straight from the church with a battery charge, you know, and I'm going to get this Muslim. I had my Bible under my arm. I had my cross. I had my hat which said Jesus is Lord. And I had my wife with me, born again Christian. We were going to get this guy and give him a hard time. This is what I thought anyway. But when I entered the place and I said, where is he? Because I didn't see who I was looking for. Because I'm expecting I'm going to meet the Ayatollah Khomeini. I'm looking for a turban. I'm looking for a big black robe. I'm looking for a beard down to here with animals crawling around in it. I'm looking for eyebrows that start here and go all the way across. And so my father said, there he is, right there. This guy didn't even have a beard. He didn't even have any hair. I said, he's a very sweet person. His face. I said, that can't be a Muslim. And when I shook his hand, it was a nice warm handshake. I liked him right away. I liked this guy. And I didn't want to, because he's a Muslim. And I remember asking him, it was not very nice on my side, by the way, because I said, hello, how are you? Do you believe in God? Get to the point, you know. He said, yes. I said, oh, yeah? You believe in Abraham? I said, yes. Moses? Yes. David? Solomon? I said, yes. Do you believe in Jesus? No. He said, yes. Yeah. Muslims, we believe in Jesus. But what do we believe about him? That's another story. I said, you believe in the Bible? He said, yes. Yeah. I said, let's go talk. Do you like tea? Well, somebody from Egypt, and they don't like tea? Of course. We sat and we talked. Wait a minute, let me correct that. We didn't talk, I talked. I'm the one who talks. What's happening?
I think just a warning.
So we got to talking. And alhamdulillah, I started thinking, I can convert this guy. I went to my dad, I said, I like this guy. We're going to get him to... What are you doing? I like being here. You guys are fun. You know what I like about Islam? It's something you do. You can't do Christianity. You can't do Judaism. But you can do Islam. Alhamdulillah. Is that right? You can do it. Let's Islam. You know, I like that. Why don't we do a bumper sticker like that? Let's Islam. Let him think about it. What's that? Okay, but back to the story. What happened, I came to know he was going to go live in the mosque because for whatever reason, I said, oh, he must be poor, be in the mosque. Well, because anybody go to the church and live there, it means they're poor, miskin. So I said, this is a good chance. I told my dad, let's take him to our house, big house in the country, and when we get him out there, then we'll convert him. My dad said, okay, it's a good idea. Good idea. So we told him, okay, you can come stay with us. He said, I don't want to. I said, no. He said, I want to stay in the mosque. I said, stay in the mosque? Why would anybody go to a church and stay there? I don't like that, We talked him into it. He came in and stayed with us. Very nice. And he started traveling with us, go around with me different places. And I'm thinking all the time, I'm going to get this guy, And I'm going to argue with him, and he's going to see the light of my belief. The only problem was, I didn't really know what my belief was. Most Christians don't. I'm serious. It's a big story. But not tonight. I won't give you all of that. But just to let you know, they don't. They're not sure. So, after a period of time and a lot of debating, I came to like a lot of things he said, a lot of ways that he had, and especially the way he had of bringing things together, and it was organized. And I saw a lot of good in Islam, so I was going to borrow it and bring it to Christianity. Yeah. And when I started doing that, I ran into some problems because my preacher friends and evangelists didn't like it, especially when you keep talking about God is one, because they need three. And we got into some big discussions in this area, especially when I would ask my evangelist friends, how am I going to explain, by the way, God is 3 and 1 at the same time? They said, okay, it's like the apple. Have you heard this one? The apple. The apple has the skin, it has the meat, and it has seeds. But when you go to the Muslim and you ask him about it, he say, well, think about it. How many seeds are in there? It's not 1. It's not 3. You got a bunch of stuff in there. What if you got a worm going through it? Ugh. Now it becomes something else. So I went back to my friend. I said, hey, that doesn't work. I don't like the apple. He said, never mind the apple. The egg. How many of you heard about the egg? You have the shell around the egg. You have the white in the egg. You have the yellow in the egg. And these 3 are 1. 1 egg, 1 shell, 1 white, 1 yellow. Okay? What if it's a double yolk? What if there's 2 yolks inside of that egg? Your God became 4, like that. And hey, what if it's rotten? Oh, come on. You make my God an egg? I don't want that. So another one, he said, no, forget the apple, forget the egg. He said, do you see me? I'm 1. My wife, 1. My son, 1. But we're a family of 3, and we're a family of 1 at the same time. 1 family, 3 people, 1. Do you see it? It's the family of God. I said, don't say that in the Bible. He said, it doesn't matter. That's it. Okay, let's take that. That works. Until you think about it, and then you go, wait a minute, hold it. What if they have another child? Or what if they have twins? Or worse, talaq, a talaq, divorce. What if the wife divorces the husband, takes the kids, the car, the house, the computer, and the email, and goes down the road? What do you got left? You got half a God out there floating around. I said, this doesn't work. And so finally one time, we asked the Muslim who was with us, how you guys look at it? And he said, well, we say what God told us to say. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul, say, Huwa Allahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. And the meaning might be in English like this. say. He is Allah, the unique, unlike anything else. Because the number ahad is not the same like wahad. Because wahad can be ithneen, thalatha, but ahad is one with no two coming after it. Is that a better way to say it? Yeah. So that's why I don't like some translations. Even I like this one, but it still says one in there. It should say, like, I like that one from Thomas Ballantyne Irving, if you've read his translation. It says Allah is unique, nothing like him. He is samad. Everything depends on him. He doesn't depend on anything. He has no father, he has no sons, and there's nothing like him anywhere throughout his creation. And he's ahad. It ends with that same thing again, ahad. When he said that, I went, whoa. Because guess what? I like that. I really like that. Why can't we say that? I said, in the church, that'll work. Well, just say that. It doesn't change anything, does it? Because I never understood why we had to say three anyway. I don't need that. And there's something else. This is kind of odd if you think about it. How could one be three or three be one? Doesn't work, does it? In your mind, it doesn't work. And for sure, if somebody thinks like that, do you want him to do your income tax? I don't. But I'll tell you what, if he continues that way, let's make change with him. I'll give him my three and take his one until he runs out of money. This doesn't make sense, does it? As time went by, one of my friends that used to carry a big cross on his shoulder, go up and down the road, and advertise for Christianity, whatever, had a heart attack, and he went to the hospital, and we used to go visit him. And while I was in the hospital, I met a Catholic priest, only I didn't know he was a priest. And he was very depressed. So I started preaching to him about Christianity. And he told me to get lost. But I kept on trying to be a friend to him. And finally, I broke him down, you know. And he started listening, and I read to him out of the Bible, chapter. The chapter or book in the Bible which is called Jonah or Eunice. And told him about it, going in the whale, 3 days, 3 nights in there. And I told him, I said, can you imagine, you think you got problems? There's a man in the worst kind of prison in the world. Because not only it's tight, not only he's in darkness, he's down in the bottom of an ocean, and on top of that, his cell is digesting him. He had a real problem. But God got him out of it. He can get you out of it. The man started getting a little bit, you know, like, yeah. And he told me, he said, I'm sorry. He said, I shouldn't treat you this way. He said, I have a confession. I said, hold it. I'm not a priest. I'm not a priest in Catholic take confessions. I'm a preacher. We just preach. He said, I know you're not a priest. I am a Catholic priest. I was shook up. When he got out of the hospital, I invited him to come live in the house with us. He accepted. Now I want to show you what we got. We got my father, an ordained minister. Me, I'm a preacher. We had my wife, a born-again Christian. We had the priest, Catholic, and we had one Muslim. We got 4 against 1. We're going to get him. We bring our books out at night and we sit around the table, and I've got my Revised Standard Version of the Bible. My wife has the Good News for Modern Man. I think that was Jimmy Swaggart's. And my friend, the Catholic priest, has the Douay Bible, has 6 or 7 more books in it than we had. My father has the King James Bible. None of them say the same thing. And besides, they're all in the English language. English didn't even exist until the year 1066 when the Normans invaded the Saxons. It's not possible that any prophet spoke English because it didn't exist. No text in English can be considered a part of the monotheistic faiths. I'm getting these teeth replaced tomorrow, don't worry about it. Get my tongue tied up around, I can't say anything. So, the Catholic priest was the first one, though, who broke down, and he said to the Muslim, could I go to your church with you sometime? And he went with him, and he came back, and we said, what are they doing there? Do they like slaughter animals, spread the blood around, or what do they do? He said, no, they just like line up, they pray, and they leave. So that's weird. What kind of music do they have? He said, they don't have any. Because I was also a music minister. That was one of the things I did. We had a music store. We sell pianos, we sell organs, right? I'm saying, what kind of music do they? He said, they don't have any. That's how you worship God without music. This is getting funny, you know. Anyway, the Catholic priest went another week. He went back again. Only they didn't come back, they didn't come back, they didn't come back. And that night, finally, late at night, we live in the country, you know what I'm saying? Big house out in the country, and we were worried something happened to him. We heard the knock at the door opened up. I recognized the Muslim right away. I'm used to him now, you know. But who's with you? A man standing with him has on a kufiya, a white one, it's like this right here, on Sheikh Muhammad. And he has on a white thobe, a white like robe, you know. I said, who's that? Now his name is Father. I'm not a Catholic, so I never was, so I don't have to say that. They say Father Peter Jacobs. I say, hey Pete, did you become a Muslim? He said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I was shocked. And I was jealous because I said I should have been first. I liked it first. And I've been hiding it because of my dad. I'm trying to figure out a sneaky way to get my dad to, you know, like you go and I'll follow you in and go, yeah, that's good, you know. But you have to remember, here we're supporters of people like, you know, that build the prayer tower in Tulsa. Supporters of the people doing their thing over in the Carolinas, you know, the Baker thing. And Jimmy Swaggart and John Hagee and the big, if you know anything about the evangelists, how could we all of a sudden go to Islam? So alhamdulillah, I thought about it and I decided, okay, that's what I'm going to do. But not right away. First thing I did, I went outside, I put my head down on the ground where nobody could see me. And I said, oh God. And then I remembered. I've always been saying, God, make me a good Christian. Let me change that. Let me just say, oh God, guide me. And that's what I said. Oh God, guide me. And when I raised my head up, I did not see angels coming out of the sky. I didn't see any lights. I didn't hear any bells. But I knew something inside. I knew one thing. I have to stop lying. I have to stop rationalizing. I have to stop cheating. I got to be honest. I know that. And that was the difference for me. This idea of always saying, God, guide me to Christianity, is like saying, if you know Dalala, it's like saying, guide me to be misguided. But alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to say the right thing. And when I said it, then, and I want to end on this, then I said the thing in English that Allah revealed in the Quran in Surah Fatiha. And the Prophet ﷺ said that this is something that was not given to the people before us. And that is in Fatiha, and it is Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim. Isn't it something? 17 times a day we say this. We don't realize the value. It didn't come to the people before us. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. And that's my dua now, as it was 10 years ago. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. My father followed right after me, and he accepted Islam. A few minutes after I accepted Islam, my wife accepted Islam. Alhamdulillah, pretty soon the whole house is in Islam. Alhamdulillah. Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim. Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Jazakumullah khair. Allah guide all of us.